All right, it is cold outside. It is snowy. We are out of hats. We are into toques, and we're gonna do a quick video. I know it's been a bit since I've done a video, but I wanted to start off with a bit of a book review, more of a book warning. We're not going to review the book, but I recently went through Yuval Noah Harari's Homo Deus. It's going to be backwards for you because I'm not editing this. It was terrifyingly eye-opening as I read the book and his premises on kind of humanism, and I realized what I was reading, because it's a nice thick book. Like that's pretty chunky, that kind of stuff. And I'm usually a fan of big books, especially in Christian circles, because it gives you a lot to kind of chew on, to look at, and stuff like that. But every paragraph of this just made me want to do a YouTube video about that specific paragraph and refute what he was saying, until I realized what this book actually is. This is a systematic theology for humanism. There's no real way to explain it differently. It posits a series of kind of worldviews and values to take, and systematically kind of shows that this is the way that you should be thinking. We're a Christian to just pick this book up and not be prepared for kind of the things that it challenges against the Christian worldview. A lot of his points would make sense in a way that would be challenging to a Christian, and it could put them in trouble of like reading a book that kind of deconstructs their faith if they're not ready to read combatively. And that's something that's just simply not taught anymore. It's something I had to learn, but it's just something that's simply not taught anymore. And this author, Harari, is kind of like the guy for talking about AI as it comes to kind of like the secular government elite, that kind of stuff. He's involved with the World Economic Forum, and there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theories that you could kind of go down just by me mentioning, the WEF and this guy and stuff like that. And I really wanted to treat him like an author, like what are his ideas, but like the way he looks at AI and technology in general, along with his kind of like secular humanism, and how pro-humanist he is. It really is disturbing to a Christian to see like this is a worldview shared by people, because like I see people reading this book in public. I saw two copies of this, one copy of this book while I was on vacation recently in Mexico, and one copy of his next book, Nexus, that he also wrote about the topic of AI. He's a popular author, so these ideas are out there and they're in the public, and it really was kind of shocking to find, like I said, what is ostensibly a systematic theology for another faith. I hadn't encountered anything like that before. I have encountered like other faith documents before. I've read the Book of Mormon. I've encountered like Catholic theology, that kind of stuff. I've encountered other faiths before, and it was never something that I realized that would like be challenging. But to be clear, he is not a bad writer. He's a very good writer. This book was very easy to read, very easy to understand, on a topic that is completely opposite to what the Christian faith is. It opposes the Christian faith in several different areas. It promotes a belief system that is opposed to the Christian faith in several different ways, and does so with very sound logic, with very sound reasoning, with eloquent writing, and in a very persuasive way. And that's what makes it such a dangerous book. So because I write in the kind of realms of like how faith and AI, how Christianity and AI and tech and the internet and all that kind of stuff works together, I have to read stuff like this. But this is actually a book, not recommend. This is me unrecommending this book. I don't know how you would phrase that. I really need a word for that. But I would persuade you not to read this book unless you absolutely have to, because of like what it's going to introduce into your life. It's a cognito hazard. I think we've done videos on those. This is a cognito hazard of a book, and a very big one, because knowing the things in this book make you reassess a lot of the things that you think about. Especially as a Christian, knowing the things that are in this book can be dangerous if you're not of the kind of mental fortitude to, know that your worldviews can be challenged and yet remain true, simply because it's not kind of like a zero-sum game. This does not disprove Christianity, though every word in this book, I think, goes against Christian doctrine, especially when it comes to technological application into daily life and what it means that we not only use technology, but technology also uses us. So I really want to caution people if they're going to read this book. I breezed through it because I really couldn't put it down. And I want to stress that. It was really good writing, but very wrong writing. And it inspired me, like, this is why I write in this kind of sphere, is because there needs to be comprehensive thought about technologies, especially advanced technologies like AI or like interplanetary travel. No one really writes for that, I think, as detailed and shockingly thoroughly as Harai does in the Christian sphere. We get lots of like 40,000 word, like, this is how you should think about, AI in church. And it's all practical. It all just kind of like applies to like making your worship pastor's job just a bit easier, or making your senior pastor's job a bit easier, or, maximizing, the power behind AI and all that kind of stuff. And it really doesn't talk about effects or like the meaning behind stuff. And this guy does talk about that stuff. He makes a really good case for humanism, especially technological humanism or technologically enabled humanism, against all faiths, mostly all faiths, against all faiths, and really does a good job of showing all his work. And that's why I'm viewing this as a systematic theology of his faith, of humanism, which is what it is. And with all those ducks in a row, it really is hard to kind of like get around it. And that's why I think there needs to be robust thought when it comes to Christian theology as it applies to technology. There needs to be like a systematic theology of Christian technology. And that's a mouthful. I get that. But it really does need to be done. And it's one of the things that I'm going to be pursuing, because there are options out there that are pulling people to different directions. So yeah, this is a book hazard. A cognito hazard. Homo Deus. Be careful out there. In other news, and we'll just tack this on to the end, I'll probably do like a separate video for it as well and stuff like that. The second edition of my book, Online as It Is in Heaven, is on the verge of being complete. I have like one final chapter to kind of polish out, and then I got to format it into an ebook. I'm trying my very hardest to get that done for Christmas for you guys, so that at least the ebook's out. And then I'm probably going to run a free promotion for that book, so anyone who has bought the original one can snag it for free on Kindle in January. So I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to try and post it on everything. As long as everything works out, we should be able to get that done. The old link for the old book will disappear. So if you have those will be collector's items, because they will not exist anymore. It'll be the first edition, limited printing. I think there's like 100 of them out in the wild. So just be aware of that if you got it. But the old link for the old ebook and the old paperback and stuff will disappear. It'll just be the new book. It'll be a second edition. It'll have a new subtitle. And yeah, we're going to go from there. I'm hoping to have that done for January for the ebook, and probably for paperbacks early spring. It takes a lot more time to format that, make sure like the cover fits, all that kind of stuff. Indie publishing is fun. So just a quick update on that so you guys can know. And yeah, hope you guys are having a great winter so far. And yeah, stay warm out there, because like I don't know if you can see, look at all this white stuff. This is horrible. Ugh.